Hi guys, it's that time again. Which is better? And we're going to take a break from all the thrash and go into old school death metal. However, these two old school death metal bands have released albums recently, and I'm talking about Incantation and ASPHYX, Sect of Divinities and Necroceros. And before I continue, there'll be links in the description to check out songs by Entombed, as well as links to check out my Instagram page and Twitter page, where you get to see what songs I'm listening to and what my band merch collection looks like. So looking at Sect of Divinities, New Jersey's Incantation arguably set themselves apart from the northeastern contemporaries by veering into the darkest territory, but when are they not? This outfit's career has ebbed and flowed a fair bit since the exodus of their seminal frontman and the human growler, Greg Pillard. There's been minimal deviation from their signature early 90s sound with for greater clarity in the production department, and their 2020 excursion into the bleak world of occult-based horror Sect of Divinities is a case study in translating the death metal sound of 30 years of the past into the present. The tried and true formula of sharp, jolting sectional contrast via grinding blast segments comparable to Through the Forerunners' Morbid Angel, and the dank slow trudging doom moments that dovetail with their dreariness of Autopsy, combined with some mildly flashy yet muddy elements that may seem a tad bit archaic, but masterfully accomplished to the true horrific results. It's a cohesive tapestry of tortured dissonance with no slouches to speak of, though frontman and lone founding member John McEntry shines as the dominant force, much as he's since took over vocal duties since 2004. True to form, this album lives by crushing heaviness alone, offering little in the way of atmospheric respites from the auditory carnage and sticking to what can be described as a fairly methodical formula. Things begin with a fairly conventional quasi-thrashing crushing in ritual impurity that largely runs a similar path as one might expect from the up-tempo Cannibal Corpse romp, but with a denser guitar sound, a solo that's more in line with Trey Azatos's brand of shredding chaos, and a more of a groaning and agonized bark out of McEntry. Similarly fast yet symmetrical offerings such as Black Phantom's Fire and Shadow Blade Masters of Tempest and Maelstrom take a similar path of balancing a cohesive structure with even more brilliant fits of flashy guitar soloing. Yet of all the moderate length and conventional offerings to come ranging out of this album, the closer Siege Hive proves to be the most memorable by taking a slightly grooving path while still peppering the listener's ears with a brilliant burst of unhinged 6-string shredding. As it may, there are some interesting deviations from a well-rounded old-school approach to the undead ferocity that deserves consideration. More compact offerings such as the almost melancholy and melodic dirge Ignis Fatuus actually comes off as catchy in a musical kind of sense, functioning as some sort of overt death doom interlude in what is otherwise largely by the book retried of vintage New York style death. The equally short yet more chaotic Guardians from the Primeval takes a brief moment at its inception of the haunting atmospheric aspects of the early 90s Swedish sound, with a brilliant keyboard and clean guitar into before beheading the listener with blasting fit of unhinged violence. But the chapter in this anthology of Dreaded that showcases the band firing at full blast in a 6-minute journey through Oblivion, Armbom Ambrosia, which throws about every trick in the book into the cauldron and stirs it into a looming, largely slow-paced march into the metaphysical wastelands. This album really holds its own. The nostalgia factor for those who remember the days when this style was actually featured on prominently on MTV around 92-94 is about as plain as it can be. And while no accompanying video footage is necessary to convey the sense of disquiet that this music conveys, a truly creepy music video for Entrails of the Hag Queen has been making the rounds for the past couple of months and underscores the grotesque beauty that lay in store here. So for those that like their brutality sealed up and dark cold with a bit of technical edge than the average old school template, this album's for you. And we're going to switch gears and look at Necroceros by ASPHYX. So I thought this album was a great follow-up, a lot of variety, let alone aggression. The riffs are definitely better, and it's like the band has been getting better and better with each release. I think that they have a lot to offer in terms of death doom metal. I found this release to be quite adaptive and addictive in terms of meshing death and doom together. I enjoyed every track, especially the title track, and yes, in some respects it can be up tempos, others a little slowed down, but they mix both genres together, and I find that quality in the sound is what made this album remarkable. I have nothing really negative to say about this album. The fact that there weren't many, if all many, leads made it an album of shiveriness that are catchy and almost like noteworthy. The vocals are good too, they mix well with the guitars, and the drums are a boon to this release. I'd have to say that all the musicians on here put so much effort into the songwriting, and it really shows when you really listen to it. The guitars are nothing but invigorating. They're catchy, fast, slow, moderate, you name it. So what caught me off the most is the vocals alongside the guitar, which made it a true gem in all respects. There's nothing dull or boring about this album. If anything, it's a milestone. The band really made some remarkable death doom combined. I had no doubt giving my opinion on this, and if you're skeptical, just listen to it at first and you'll see what I'm talking about. You won't be disappointed. If you are, then you'll have to eat my words. I think I'm right in saying that this album is a gem. I think I already said that already. Pretty certain in that no song on this album lacks. Whether it's CD or Spotify, just check it out. You'll get a taste of what I'm talking about. And this album kind of felt like good timing, because this was around the time when the male community lost Alex Alejo. Now, for those who don't know who Alex Alejo is, he was the frontman of Children of Bodom and was even the frontman of Burning After Midnight. R.I.P. So this in my video will show the metal world how death doom is to sound like. So I would urge you to get a physical copy if you can, or listen to it on Spotify, because it shows the band what you enjoy and what they're putting out. And if you do this, then they're most likely going to make awesome music. And it doesn't just apply to ASPHYX, it applies to every other musician or band out there. And on that note, let me know what your thoughts in terms of what was the best album in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.